Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. We're back with Marissa. She looks like this now. She's had all of her bags and she's ready to get some hair. And I've laid out a variety of things, but before we get started, I'm going to have to raise the camera up because when I put my rooting pillow here, it's probably going to be too high. Let me test it out and see. The camera's going to be too low. Oh, here's our limbs. I don't think we need them. I've already put the glue on them and everything and let them dry. And I'm just going to put them over here in my bin with my other limbs. And we're going to get started on trying to... Let's see what happens when I put my pillow here. Well, actually, you might see that pretty good. I'm not sure. Let's try it. Okay, first of all, for this task, you're going to need a head that you need to root. You're going to need a rooting pillow. Mine is just a couch pillow. And what I did was, I took some zip ties, you can see them right coming through here, and I made a little dimple in the middle so the head would fit in it. And you want your head to stay. Now, I had a store-bought rooting pillow, but I didn't like it because, well, one side was like this. It was a little bit, it wouldn't move around, but the other side was very, very slick, like satin or something. And every time you tried to root, if you had it up, the satiny side, the doll's head would just scoot too much. And if you had it down, the whole pillow would scoot. And so it wasn't good. So I went back to my homemade pillow here. Also, you're going to need hair, of course. I have 1 pack of hair here. It says Sophia's Heritage, 100% pure mohair, 1/2 ounce, honey blonde. I don't use that light blonde. It's too light. It looks too much like white hair. Anyway, 1/2 ounce is what I recommend you get. It's a big bundle, about this big. You can see it's kind of long, way too long. If you root with hair this long, you're going to use too much hair and you're going to be cutting most of it off. But see, it's coming out of the rubber band. We're going to have to re-rubber band it. Anyway, we're going to lay that out. I also laid out needles. There's needles inside this this medicine bottle. This is how Bountiful Baby sends you needles. Lots of needles in here. So you don't get stuck with them. You know, stuck in the finger, you know. I saved I didn't get these needles from Bountiful Baby. I got these from Dolls by Sandy, but I put them in the same container because, well, it's a great way to hold your needles. You're also going to need some rubber bands. I have them in a medicine bottle as well. Medicine bottles make great little holders for things. Little tiny. These are just Goodies rubber bands. You get them at Walmart, and they're all the same size. They have another pack that's got assorted sizes, but I like these little bitty ones. They work really well. I also laid out a toothbrush, and you can tell I've been using this a lot on doll hair. Because we're going to need to comb the hair out of our way as we're doing it. I laid out a big pair of scissors for cutting the bundle of hair into sections. And then I laid out a variety of smaller scissors that I'm going to use to cut the hair. We'll go over them in a minute. Okay, so we have all, oh yes. And I laid out my Pilot friction pen to map the head with. This is what we're going to map the head with. It washes off with just plain water, unless you leave it on too long. And then you're going to need, where's that little other bottle? A slightly soapy water. Where's that other bottle that's got the slightly soapy water in it? Oh, well, we don't need it right now anyway. This one's got a tiny, tiny bit of what do you call it? Fabric softener in it for conditioning the hair. We'll also need that when we're ready to style the hair. But anyway, we're going to get started. And first we're going to talk about needles. When you're ordering your needles, they're going to look like this most of the time. Now, you can get one of those big things. They just are too cumbersome for me. They change the way you have to hold the needle. And I didn't have one for a while, and I learned to root without one. And then when I did finally get one, it changed the angle. It changes the angle that the needle is going into the head, and I was breaking too many needles. So I took it back off. And also, to use one of those, you have to cut your needle. You can't have this end on it. You have to cut it off, or they don't fit in that thing properly. So anyway, And there's a huge variety of needles, huge. They have notched ones, they have crown needles, they have felting needles, they have just lots of kinds. These are called German steel compact needles, and I got them from Dolls by Sandy. Bountiful Baby sells needles, but not like this one. This needle is different. Most of the needles that are called crown needles, they're going to come in gauges. They'll have like 38, 40, 42, 43, like that. The higher the gauge, the smaller the needle. And that seems to be the case for a lot of things. But if you're using a needle that's too skinny when you're a beginner, you're just going to break every single one of them. This is a 40 gauge. It's not, they have them 36, 38. They may even have a 34, I don't know. But some of them make too big of a hole. I never can see the hole this one makes, so I go with this one because it's not as skinny. I tried those 42 gauge ones and they were just too skinny. And because they're German steel, they're stronger. And they're compact, meaning they're shorter. So you don't need a needle this long to root hair. And the shorter the needle, the less likely you're going to break it. And if you can see the tip of this needle, I don't know if you can, I'm turning it very slowly. It's almost like, see, it's got this fat part up here. And then it has this really skinny part. The skinny part's the only part that's really going to go on the head. And it's very, very tiny and skinny and very, very sharp. I'll tell you that right now. You poke yourself with it, you're going to feel that for a while. Anyway, and it's going to bleed. Anyway, there is also barbs on it. That's what catches the hair and makes it go in the head. Hopefully it catches the hair. Let's put it that way. You can get them with one barb on it. You can get them with 3 barbs on it. And if you have 3 barbs, this is triangular shape. The end of this this needle is triangular shape. So that would be 1 barb on each side of the triangle. Well, this one has 2 barbs on each side of the triangle. It has 6 barbs altogether. And some people are going, oh no, you'll put 6 hairs in the head at one time. Well, you might 1 or 2 times, but most of the time you don't even pick up 1 hair. You're going to have trouble even getting 1 hair in the head, especially at first. I don't know, can you see the barbs on that needle? They're very, very, very tiny. I can see them with my naked eye a little bit. But if you had a magnifying glass, you would see. And anyway, this is the one I recommend. They also have one that has 3 barbs on each side, which is 9 barbs altogether. Anyway, this is the one I recommend because it's a little bit easier to use at first. And that's what you need. It's easy because it's hard enough to get hair in the head as it is. Okay, we're going to get our hair ready now. This is way too big of a pack of hair to try to use. So I'm going to cut this band they put on it because it's just crappy anyway. It's not even really a rubber band. It's just a thing they wrapped around there. And take it off. And then I'm going to divide the hair. Now, hair's going to get everywhere. I tried to cover some things up over here, but it's just not working. You can see these paper towels up here. So I'm going to divide this pack of hair in half into 2. You don't have to measure it or anything, but, you know, try to get it sort of equal. Now, there's some things you should know about hair. This is mohair, completely 100% mohair. It said so on the bag. Mohair is goat hair. Can you imagine a goat having hair that long? It must be on their chin. Or else they're just some breed of goat that has really long hair. I don't know. But goats are not very clean. You probably know that. They stink and they're very dirty. My son had a goat for a while and it was the grossest thing I ever saw. Little known fact. I mean, some people know this and some people don't. Goats have lice. They have cleaned this hair. They have combed this hair. They have dyed this hair, straightened it maybe. I don't know what all they've done to it. But occasionally, you're going to see a dead lice bug. It's just a fact. Mohair has lice. You might even see an egg, but they're dead. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, we're going to put a rubber band up here at the top, and it's going to, I like to wrap it 3 times around. This is 1. This is 2. Well, if you can make it wrap. This is 2, and this is 3. I used the 3 wrap. It's the right tightness for this amount of hair, and we're going to straighten it out pretty good, and we're going to put another rubber band because we don't want to use our hair this long. We want to use it a little bit shorter for 2 reasons. One is you don't waste so much hair, and 2, you don't have to do so much cutting at the end. You already have to cut the hair, but you know, you don't have to cut so much off. It's just so much cutting. Okay, there's that one, and we're going to make one more. We'll cut it right here, and we'll have a bundle here, and then we'll cut it right here, and we'll have a bundle there, and then we'll have to make a bundle with this piece down at the bottom. This piece down at the bottom is not as useful as these 2 up here will be, because just like your hair, it gets shorter and shorter, less and less hair as it goes down. It's just, that's just the way it is. Anyway, I don't want you to think you're just going to see lots and lots of lice in your hair. You're not going to see that. I've only ever seen a couple times. I saw like 1 dead lice bug, just a couple times. Also, this dyed hair can bleed on your doll. These lighter colors like this one right here, they don't. But if you get dark brown or black, maybe even medium brown, it's going to bleed onto your doll. And what all that means is the dye wasn't completely washed out. Really and truly, you should take this to the sink, wash it out, lay it to dry, and just leave it until it's dry and then use it. But I've never had a problem with the blonde, so I don't do it. Okay, so we're going to cut our bundles, and I like to have a bundle about that big. The top bundle's always the best because it's the thickest, of course. We're just going to cut right through it like this and make a little bundle like that. Then we're going to cut this one right here, and we're going to make a little bundle out of it too, and then we'll have the bottom bundle that isn't very good. You can get some use out of it, but it's, as you can see, it's scragglier. It's a little bit longer, but it's scraggly. It doesn't have as much hair in it as these 2 bundles do. So that's 3 bundles right there. Now we still have this other half of the hair here. And we're not even sure we're going to use it yet. I'm pretty sure we will, because I'm going to try to use only really straight hair. I don't want to have to put you through, this is how you use scrappy looking hair on your first experience with rooting. I use all my hair. I don't throw any of it away. I even use the scrap hair, what most people would throw away. But I'm just going to put a rubber band around this one and lay it to the side, and if we need it, we'll get it out and we'll cut it then. Okay, so we've got our bundles. Now, we're going to talk about, I got to grab some water. Hold on. Now, we're going to talk about mapping the head. That's what we're going to talk about. Most everybody wants to map their head, and I don't understand it at all. I don't root with a map. I don't root with a warm head. I found that it doesn't work out. Now, a warm head would have probably helped Emmy a lot. She had the hardest head, and I broke so many needles on her. But I just pushed through and finished her up. Now, Marissa has a very soft head, very squishy. If it was any warmer than this, when you try to press down with the needle, the head's just going to squish in. And it's just not, it doesn't help me at all. In fact, I broke more needles. Before we put her hair on, we're going to need to give her a magnet, though I didn't do that yet. So I'm going to take all this polyfill out of her head. And I'm going to give her magnet. Because once, like I said, once I get that hair done, I don't want to be messing with the inside of the head at all. So she's got to get it now. She's going to get one. I mean, it's possible to do it. I have done it before because I forgot. But it's best to do it first. So here we go. We're going to try to do it first. And you don't just necessarily have to get every scrap out. If the hair's not in the way where the magnet's going to go, you can get it in there. I just like to get it out. I can get it in there just like that. I don't even have to take any more out. She's a girl. Let me see if I can find a girl pacifier up here. I'm running out of pacifiers. I'd say 90% of the dolls I make are girls. I don't know why. So I have plenty boy pacifiers. I'm going to try to use this kind of clear one. You want it to be able to fit on their face kind of good. And she's got a weird face. I don't think, see, it's going to sit out from her face a little bit, which we can't help that really. So I'm just going to get a pacifier. A magnet off of this magnet bar I have. And I'm going to figure out which way it has to go. Oh, I already know. Okay. Lay it on the table, it'll be a little bit easier. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it. And we're just going to get it in there real quick. It only takes a minute to get a pacifier done. You don't even have to really wait maybe 30 seconds. I don't even know if you have to wait that long before you put the polyfill back in the head. And we will have to take this polyfill out again because after we get the hair done, we're going to have to glue it. There we go. That's in. So we're just going to give that a second or two. And I'm going to try to cover these arms and legs a little bit better. They've been baked, so nothing's going to really stick to them. I might just forego that. Hair tends to get on your sponges, on your brushes, on your dolls. It just tends to get everywhere. You don't even believe it's happening until you actually experience it. That's long enough. I'm putting the polyfill back in. The reason I stuff the head with polyfill is it actually keeps the head in a roundish shape when you're rooting. It doesn't just poke in like this. See how squishy that head is? It's just too squishy. And you don't need heat. Plenty people use it. I had a heat lamp, a little heat, it was a rooting lamp. That's what they called it. It heated up and it allowed you to warm the head. And it had this little spring action thing that you'd stick inside of there, and it a clip-like thing, and it clipped it to the inside of the head. But the thing was, it was always slipping off of that, and I was afraid that it would slip off enough to where the bulb would actually touch the head. And it does get hot. It wasn't like a cool light or anything. The head got real hot. The light got real hot, and I was afraid it was going to burn my doll or melt it or something. And then the head would be real hot as well because it was heating up the head. I didn't like it. And like I said, it was cumbersome because you had to only hold the head a certain way or it was coming off the light. It was just too hard to use. Now we're going to talk about some maps. I'm going to tell you the reasons for maps, the reasons for not using maps. A map is just a drawing on your doll's head. It's going to tell you which way to root. You should already know that, but okay. Maybe you've never rooted a doll and you don't know it. Generally speaking, dolls are rooted directionally. Like you want the hair to fall this way, you have to root it so that it will. You have to push the needle in this way. Like if you want the hair to go this way, the needle has to go in this way. Does that make sense? It's backwards. At first I had to go, wait a minute, is that right? But the actual position for rooting the front of the head is to have the head up. And you're going to root down like this. And for the back, it's this way, upside down. It's weird, I know. So you have to decide, how do I really want my baby's hair to look? What do I want to accomplish rooting this baby's head? Do I want the hair to comb over to the side? Do I want it to come down straight? Do I want wild and crazy hair? Some people do that just to make the hair stand up, because sometimes babies have hair like that. But I like my hair to lay down. And there's a lot of ways you can draw your map. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on this baby's head And then I'm going to wipe it off so you can see it does come off. Don't use any other pen but this one. This is the Pilot. It's made by Pilot, and it's called Frixion, Frixion. And it's an erasable pen. I don't know if they have the non-erasable kind, but this one is erasable. But we will not be erasing it. If you try to erase this off your doll, you're going to take paint off. We'll be using water to get it off. Anyway, I bought a package of these, 3 in a package. That's the way they came. I couldn't find a single one. The lady I saw online using this pen used the red one. And I thought, well, okay, I'm going to get the red one. She didn't mention any other color. She just mentioned the red one. So I got a pack of 3. It had red, blue, and black. So I was using the red one, and I had brought it in here for something. I don't know why. And so I was in the bedroom, and I wanted to make a line across my doll's head where I didn't want to go any further forward with the hair, and I used the blue one. It don't come off like this red one does. It did come off, but it was much harder to get off. So I'm going to advise you only to use the red one. I don't really know if the black one would work. I didn't try it. Now, there are multitudes of ways that you can make maps. A map is just a general idea of which way you want to go with your hair. And now, once I draw it on here, I'm going to erase it back off because I don't root with a map because it's confusing. You have to decide if you want sideburns. I don't like sideburns. Babies don't have sideburns, but people make them. They make these little sideburns coming down here. You have to decide if you want sideburns, if you don't want sideburns. I'm going with no sideburns. So I'm going to draw around the ear first. This would be something like the starting of a map. You can see that line going around the ear. It's going to guide you to root around the ear. I already know to root around the ear. I don't need it, but I'm going to show you the map anyway. Okay, the map would then come down. Well, now it's not writing very good on the head. There we go. And it would go across this way a little bit, across the back of the head like this, all the way across to this other ear where you'd go around that ear too. They don't have to be exact, because this, like I said, this is just a guideline. You don't actually have to stay completely within this map. But me, with OCD, I feel compelled to do it. It's like, well, I drew the map and it says go this way. I must need to go this way. And then you're going, oh, I should have done it the way I thought in the first place. Anyway, that's the beginning of a map right there. We have it across the back and around the ears. Okay, then you have to decide, where do I want to stop up here on the forehead? Now, we're not talking about where's the hair going to lay down to. We're talking about the last place you're going to actually stick the needle in and make a root, because that's 2 different things we're talking about here. One of them is, okay, I want the hair to come down to about right here. But do you want a root right there? No. That's where the hair's going to end up. You're going to be rooting back here somewhere to get the hair to lay there. Because if you root that close to the forehead, it's going to be funky. I have a doll in the bedroom that I did root that way. Funky, let me tell you. So once you've got your little circles around your ears here, we're going to make a little line going across the top of the head. And that little line's going to tell us, hey, don't root any closer to the face than this. And if you think it's a little too far back, you can always root a little bit in front of it. I'm making mine pretty far back because I don't want to root that close to my doll's face, because I want a little bit of space between the last point I'm going to root and where the hair is going to actually end up. And if you don't draw this absolutely straight, don't worry about it. That looks pretty good. Now, inside this whole area, you have to decide directionally, where's the hair going to go, which way. Usually, you do the same thing you do when you're penciling on here. You have to define where you want your crown. I just do that by putting the head toward me, leaning it forward a little bit, and deciding where the crown's going to be. And the crown, it can be to either side or the middle, just like it is when you pencil it on. I usually pick the middle because it just makes it a little easier. And you just put sort of a little dot there. Just a little past the tip of the head up here, just a little past it. There's a little more hair coming forward than there is hanging in the back. If you don't believe it, find your crown or on your kit or something. Anyway, so okay. So now we have to decide which way in each section of the head, which way will the hair be falling, okay? This seems hard, but it's really not. Of course, the hairs coming this way are going to fall to the front, and then they're going to start falling a little over to the sides like this. And you can draw little sections, just like we did when we were penciling the hair. You just draw little sections, and you directionally root that way. Okay, when you're doing over the ear, it's going to come straight up. Basically, it's all going to come straight up. It's going to come straight up here. It's going to come straight. You're just going to be, I'll show you. Anyway, so, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is try to define. Most people go by where the eyes are like this, and they make, it's hard to do that because they lay something there is what they do. They take something long, and they lay it right by the corner of the eye, and they try to line it up with their pencil mark where they made their, but you can't do it really. You really can't do it. It's really, really hard to do. It's just, that's why I don't draw maps. It's just hard. And it's hard to stay within them too. It's basically going to be like this. And then we're going to go all the way back to our crown with it. Now that's a big section. You can actually cut that into pieces too. It's not exactly even either, as you'll see, but it doesn't have to be. It's just a guide. And what you're going to do is, you can even, like here, you're going to be going at a different angle than you are here. So really this should be divided into a couple more little spots. Basically the hair is going to go like this. I'm just going to draw some arrows. You're going to be following these little arrows, sort of, all the way up to where your crown is, and you're going to just, if it's curved, your arrows are going to be a little curved as well. But this is basically what you do. You're going to go in this direction up to your crown's point. Now, if you want to make that swirl, feel free. I don't do that. Then you just keep doing this until you have, like down the middle, you're going to have like a straight line that goes straight. Now you're not rooting, the arrows are not meant to be root lines. They're just showing your direction. Curve a little here, straight a little there. It's just a guide pretty much, really. And you just do that. I'm not going to do it to the other side too because I'm going to erase all this. Okay, then right here in this part right here, you're going to want to make it pretty much, it's pretty much all of this hair in the back is going to be directionally rooted as well. You just make another section here, and you make another section here, and these are going to be a little more curvy. They're going to curve a little more this way. I hate maps. They're just horrible. I root just from my brain. It tells me what to do, and it's a lot easier to me. So you're going to be curving a little more to the side with each. You can't just keep the same. It might look like it's the same, but it's not. You can't keep the same angle, or the hair would just all fall to the front. It wouldn't fall. Does that make sense? It wouldn't fall to this side like this. So you're going to be rooting this way now instead of this way. Does that make sense? And then as you're coming over to the side here, this hair right here, most all of this hair back here is going to just come up. So it's hard to explain. When you see it happening as I'm doing it, you can understand it a little better. Almost every bit of this back here is just going to come straight up. You don't need a map for that. It's just all of it does that. So anyway, I'm going to stop the map right there. It's just confusing me to no end right now. And I'm going to just spray some, I'll just take some water out of my bottle here, my water bottle, on this paper towel, and I'll just take this off of the head. I don't use a map. I think it's counterproductive. If you want a map, feel free to use a map. But see how easy this comes off the head? It just wipes right off. And nothing but plain water. Look at that. And this will not hurt your doll if two things are true. You use Heat Set and you properly cured your doll with heat. I don't know what happens with air dry. I don't know if you can do this or not. I only know about what happens with Heat Set. There, it's off. See how easy that was? It took it all off. Nothing left. Oh, forgot to do that part. Okay. Now that we've thoroughly discussed maps, we're going to actually do some. I got to fix this paper towel. It's just horrible. There we go. Okay, now we're going to actually do some rooting. Hopefully you can see this well enough. I'm going to try to prop it up on something higher. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe a box. Hold on. Well, my finger's on the camera. Sorry about that. Please don't fall. Can you see that? I don't know. I can see it, so I'm hoping you can see it as well. I don't want to keep these segments too long because people just tend to not watch if they're too long. So I'm going to end this one and begin again. I'll just click it off and click it back on, so there'll be 2 videos instead of 1. It's already up to 30 minutes, and 30 minutes on a rooting video is a lot, I think. Anyway, so I'm going to remind everybody to please like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.